So I just, yesterday I told you I had this pole saw. I think I told you yesterday that I needed to get fixed, and part came in, so they gave it to me Friday morning about 10 o'clock, and today by 11 I had it finished and got it running. I tell you, it's interesting. It's a pole saw, and it appears to start up with the same starting procedure as this is a Stihl pole saw. It has the same starting procedure as a Stihl weed eater. Now chainsaws starting procedure is a lot easier or different. It doesn't have a priming bulb. The leaf blower has kind of a hybrid. It has a priming bulb, but still starts up like a chainsaw, where you gotta hold the trigger and lock the choke, and that holds the trigger up. So anyway, my point is the pole saw and the weed eater starting procedure, priming it, choking it, pulling the rope, is exactly the same. So at initial glance at the Stihl pole saw, I thought this isn't going to be a big deal, just change the carburetor. Now every carburetor on 2 cycles, at least everyone I know of, has an impulse. It comes from the bottom underside of the piston. So every time the piston does this, it takes the pressure from that piston, you know, the impulse, sends it to the carburetor, which has a diaphragm that flops up and down, and that is the fuel pump. That's what pumps the fuel, the diaphragm moving them down. Lawnmowers that have a fuel pump work on the same principle. It takes the impulse from the engine crankcase to a fuel pump. Well, I can pretty easily show you what I'm talking about. Come over here to the beast so you can understand how that works. I need to start this up anyways, so I'll do that as soon as I'm done with this video. So good thing I did that. Okay, so here's the fuel pump. So it takes gas from the fuel tank and then sends it into the carburetor. Well, you see this other line here. That goes right into the crankcase. And that's the impulse. So every time the cylinder moves, it creates an impulse of air, making the diaphragm inside the fuel pump go in and out, pumping the gas. So the 2-cycle works basically the same, except it doesn't have an external fuel pump. The fuel pump is inside the carburetor. Doing this one-handed is a challenge. I'm gonna have to try to get 2 hands on this. So chainsaws are designed a little different than weed eaters, but it's all the same principle. So since the starting procedure was the same as a weed eater, I just assumed the carburetor was going to be the same too. So I ordered the carburetor, and I started taking the carburetor off the pole saw, and I recognized that instead of a direct connection, see, usually behind the carburetor on a weed eater, there's a small tiny little hole right into the crankcase, and that small little hole gives the impulse to the carburetor. Well, on the pole saw, it was completely different. It had a hose coming from the crankcase up underneath the carburetor into the carburetor, basically the same as the beast there, with the external hose coming from the crankcase to the fuel pump, or in the pole saw's case, from the crankcase to the carburetor. Well, it threw me for a loop for a minute, because the hose was brittle, and I knew I was going to break it. There was no way to get the carburetor off without breaking that hose. It was very brittle. You know, it had been sitting around for a long time, and you know, even the priming bulb had all rotted away. Every fuel line I took off broke, so it was just, you know, just needed an overhaul of the fuel system. No big deal. my concern was, did I have a hose? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the first time I ever seen this. So I went ahead and broke it. Sure enough, I mean, it was just a simple fuel line hose that's actually for a push mower. Same hose, so it wasn't even a weed eater hose or anything, or specialized hose. It was just, I mean, I have a bunch of it down there in the camper. So fortunately, I had a piece that I could just cut off and put on. And I was thankful. But boy, that threw me for a loop for a minute. Like, man, I'm gonna have to order another part that I wasn't aware of. That's gonna be extra cost that I didn't put into the estimate. And you know, that's my fault. And I'm sure some troll's gonna tell me, you know, I thought you said you were a mechanic. You're not a mechanic if you don't know these things. Well, I'll tell you, everything is designed different, and you would expect a design difference between manufacturers. It makes total sense to me. But most carburetors are manufactured very similar to each manufacturer, with that little hole as the impulse. Chainsaws have that little hole in the back. Now, some chainsaws, I guess Stihl chainsaws, even though it's still on the back, you don't have to do anything extra, but it's on the back, and there's a little rubber tube that the carburetor presses up against. But you don't have to connect anything. You just slide it on, it all lines up, and it's done. You might have to replace that tube, but you know, still, it still has a basic design to it. So just threw me for a loop. What I don't understand is, why is there so many design variances? And on this, I can't find any logical reason why there would be a design difference. It just means more parts. So, you know, working in manufacturing for a good portion of my life, or consulting for manufacturing, I know that tool cost is extremely high for companies. So, you know, I worked in the plastics industry, and you would get these huge molds of steel. I mean, and so they open up, and you got the cavity in there of whatever it is you're making. You inject plastic, you know, you close the mold, you inject plastic, it cools off, it opens up, and that part drops down. Those tools, even small ones, can run into the hundreds of thousands of dollars to get designed and manufactured, made by a CNC is what it is. They make those molds. So you would think that they would try to standardize components like a carburetor to fit, you know, most of their product line. You know, weed eater carburetor, basically the same as a pole saw carburetor. Why not just make it the same? I really didn't see the point. Now, I will admit that this pole saw was what they call a 4-mix. Most weed eaters, there's some that isn't, does have a 4-cycle, 4-stroke, whatever you want to call it. So, let's see, do I even have, I have a 4-stroke around here. So that means it has valves. 4-stroke has valves, whereas a 2-stroke doesn't have valves. Well, this was a 4-stroke, but it used 2-cycle gasoline. So I'm thinking maybe for some reason they had to run the hose for whatever reason, because they couldn't get a hole where they needed it into the crankcase. And I'm okay with that argument. If that's what they would tell me, I would say, oh, that makes sense. Except Craftsman and Toro, I think it's Toro, have a 4-stroke weed eater. Same as the pole saw. And they don't have that extra hose. They put it right into the side of the crankcase. There's no extra hose. So the excuse is, well, we had to move it because of the 4-stroke system. It just doesn't line up with me either. So here's what I'm talking about. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit better. So this is a 4-stroke. See, it's got valves here. Most weed eaters don't have valves. So let's see, where are we at here? Carburetor. Yep. So the carburetor would go here. And, you know, there'd be 2 screws that come out. carburetor go here. You don't see any area to put a hose. This is just a threaded, you know, this is just a bolt. Bolt goes into that, bolt goes into that, bolt goes into that. Carburetor right here. So you don't see any holes, extra ports, or, you know, lines coming out of the crankcase to support a hose. There just isn't any. So, and this is Troy-Bilt. So if Troy-Bilt can do it, why does Stihl have to go a different direction and develop an entirely new carburetor? It just seems like that's just a really big waste of money. And the other thing you have to ask yourself is, how many people actually buy pole saws? You know, if you redesigned a weed eater, I could kind of understand that. A 2-mix weed eater where you need an extra line. But tons of people buy weed eaters. Tons. But a pole saw is kind of I would imagine a very small percentage of people buy pole saws. As much as I would like to have one. I haven't bought one yet. I just wait for somebody to bring me one and trim up a limb here or there. So I just guess I don't understand the why Stihl would have done that. Seems like a pretty smart company. It's been around for a long time. Makes a lot of good products. A lot of people love them, but then they do something that just seems really strange. And you see that occasionally where all of a sudden you see a design that you've never seen before. It's very unique. And you don't see the advantages to the design. I just don't see it. So if Stihl came to me and said, well, this is why we did it, is because we couldn't put a hole there, I would just walk them over to that and say, well, Troy-Bilt figured it out. Why are you wasting money? The other thing is if you want to use aftermarket, which is what I did, I was lucky to find an aftermarket HIPA. I found out it's called HIPA, not HIPA, HIPA. Anyway, I like calling it HIPA, so I'm going to continue. If you, you know, I was lucky that HIPA had an extra, or an aftermarket carburetor, because it was $20. If I wanted to buy it from Stihl, it was going to be $130. Oh, and I just couldn't see spending that much money on a carburetor. And it needed a new carburetor. I mean, a rebuild kit, even if you bought all the pieces, still came up to like $80. So, you know, that was hard to justify too. The problem with rebuild kits is they're not always successful. You can rebuild and still not work. So now you're just out that money. So it's just safer to buy an aftermarket, even if you got to buy 2 of them, because the first one didn't work for some reason. But I was lucky to find a HIPA. I'm glad. Anyway, maybe somebody can tell me the logic and comment below. So if you'll click this up next box, take the video where I was working on something on my other channel. Brand new, well, no, it's not brand new. That's not right. Well, it was posted yesterday. So if you'll click this, so I hope I can inspire you. I don't know, figure out why people actually or do things that are so strange, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.